Okay, sorry about that. Hold up. We'll triple check to make sure it's working. Is it working? Hold up. Testing audio. Audio. Testing audio. Audio. Testing audio. Audio. Okay, yeah, sorry about that, everyone. Jeez. I think something crashed. My video card crashed or something. So, sorry about that. We'll start it up again. At least it wasn't a computer crash. Yeah, really sorry about that. It's weird. I don't know. That's never happened before. I think I was messing around with like it may have been the Fextra Life wiki tab or something. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, it was the Fextra Life wiki tab, I think, crashed my audio, unfortunately. Or, I mean, crashed my video card, I guess. Because I was looking at the Cathedral Knight Greatsword. So yeah, thanks for cluing me into that weapon, because I'm probably going to play with it in the future. I don't know if it's a weapon I'm really going to use that much, but we'll see. There's a very real possibility that's a weapon I'm going to, like, do something with. Because it looks really cool, and it might actually be one of the better weapons I haven't looked into. The other one was Black Knight. Somebody's telling me a while ago. This is a long time ago. Somebody was talking about the Black Knight Ultra Greatsword. And that I found really... Oh, shoot. That I found... Okay, I'm not even ready to parry here. Oh, my gosh. Stop. Stop. I'm, like, trying to parry him like he's Gwyn or something. I'm, like, looking at him like he's got Gwyn timings. Very foolish. Very amusingly foolish. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, so my, yeah, so hopefully my video card doesn't crash again. I think maybe I didn't have, what might be the issue is I didn't have my, whatever it's called. I didn't have, whatever it's called. I didn't have my task manager up. Because whenever I have task manager up, it seems like things go so much smoother. I don't know why. I've done lots of DS3 guides. I've done like a huge number of DS3 guides, I think. I have an entire playlist of them. I've done strength, dex. I did strength, dex, magic, or intelligence, faith. And then I did a couple others. Oh shoot. I've done like a chaos character. I did like a pyromancies. I did like chaos and dark and stuff. I did, and then I went to New Game Plus 8 too. I think in that video I say that it only goes to New Game Plus 6, but it actually goes to New Game Plus 7. It's only in this game where it only goes to plus 6. So that's a bit of a blunder on my part. But yeah, I've done tons of DS3 guides. DS3 is I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's really good. I love DS3. DS3, well, yeah, it's really good. DS3 is really good. Which stat was the best? Strength. Basically. Kind of. Strength. The thing about strength is it's the best stat, but the way you pay for it is the weapons are kind of bad. There's a lot of really bad strength weapons in DS3. Now, technically, that's remediated by that's fixed by the fact that you can crushing infuse anything. But like anything that you think of as a strength weapon from other Dark Souls games, like clubs and stuff, kind of stink. And then like anything super heavy is like really bad. But you have some fun options. The thing about it is you get so much physical defense. You get an insane amount of physical defense from going strength. That's the thing. You get a ridiculous amount of physical defense. It's like really broken. Nice dodge, bro. This is like so much more consistent than trying to parry him 16 times. See, this is the sort of thing that only makes sense if you know Allant. This is the sort of thing that only makes sense if you know Allant. If you don't know a lot, this doesn't make any sense that anyone would try doing this. And we get to hear this sick-ass song. Go for it, pal. There we go. Fudge. No! No! I almost did it. That's so stupid. See, you gotta work the kinks out. Gotta work the kinks out, bro. That's the issue. That's the issue. You gotta work the kinks out. That was really smart until it wasn't. Yes, DS2 is it's not bad. DS2 is kind of, it's not bad. It's a great game. It's a masterpiece of a video game, but everything about it is a mess. Absolutely. I will unashamedly say that. I love DS2, but like you have to know that there is a deep issue with it. There is a deep. It's not as fun as the others to play. It's a cool game. It's an awesome game. It's a creative game. There's so many cool weapons, so many awesome spells. It's super fun. There's so many good things about DS2, but it is a wonk jank. It's so wonk and so jank and so goofy that like you have to respect the fact that it is that way. It feels so much more clunky than DS1. It feels more clunky than Demon Souls. That's the issue. Is if it was only as clunky as Demon Souls, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. It literally feels so much clunkier than Demon Souls. It feels like a Dark Souls game where you're in pudding. It feels like your character is floating in like pudding or something. Is what it feels like. It's like even like relatively simple things like doing this don't work. You can't do this. You can't do this. Oh shoot, wrong one, wrong button. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do it. It just feels like it's not snappy. It feels like a game where they went out of their way to remove any of the snap. It feels like there's like a delay on every action. It literally feels like every action has a delay on it. It feels like stamina management is such a pain. Why is he following me? Why is he following me? That's not supposed to happen. It feels like stamina management is such a pain. Stamina management is just the worst. I don't know why stamina management has to be an issue in a Dark Souls game. Like, I get that that's like how these games are. You have to stamina manage, but like it feels so much worse to stamina manage in DS2 because it just feels like it regenerates slower. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. That's so weird. I don't know why or how they made any of the decisions they made. Like, there's a possibility they had engine issues or something, and they had to, like, work around them. Or there's a possibility they wanted it to be, like, weird and sticky. They wanted it to feel like your hands were covered in frickin' candy or something while you're playing it. I don't know. I don't know. I would love to know. Yeah, honestly. But there is so much awesome stuff about it. I'm not a Dark Souls 2 hater. I love lots of games that are like kind of wonky. Like, believe me, I love Oblivion, okay? I think Oblivion is a masterpiece, but you have to admit that it is a little wonky. You do have to admit that Oblivion is kind of wonky. It is a very meaningfully wonky game. Like Skyrim. I love Skyrim. It's so freaking awesome. Kind of a wonky jank fest. Definitely a wonky jank fest, right? And so that's kind of the issue with DS2, is it's very like janky and wonky. And there's like all this weird stuff going on, and all the DLC bosses are a nightmare. But it's the hardest. It's the hardest Dark Souls game, I think, in my opinion. I think maybe Elden Ring or like you can make the argument that maybe like Elden Ring or Sekiro or like, you know, one of these other games is harder. But I think that as far as Dark Souls games go, it's the hardest one. I don't know. I haven't played Elden Ring and I haven't played Bloodborne, so I don't know. But as far as I can tell, it's the hardest one. It's the hardest Dark Souls game. At least as far as the... Yeah, I'm sure. The funny thing was, I killed, like... I actually just barely killed Margit or whatever. The first like, major boss. So I killed Tree Sentinel. So I pop out of the tutorial. Yeah, I love buggy games. No, I've never played Ark Survival. I've seen gameplay of it. It looks pretty funny. Come on. That's below the belt. Guys, oop. I've definitely seen gameplay of it though. It looks really cool. I'm like into. I'm like I probably won't ever play it because I'm not really into like multiplayer survival type stuff. That doesn't really do it for me. Shoot. Come on, why can you not drink against him? Yeah, you can't. You're not allowed to drink on him, I guess. This guy, what a stinker. What a freaking stinker. You can't even drink on him. No drinking. No drinking allowed with this guy. Look at him. Look at him sashay away. A non-mage build weapon in Demon Souls. Dude, that's going to be pretty crazy to do the DS3 first-person mod. Do I have a favorite non-mage build weapon? Well, okay, so objectively, I think the best weapon in Demon Souls is like either the halberd or the Murden Hammer, I think. The reason why is because they're good enough for bosses, and then they're good enough for they're good enough for bosses, and then they like wreck normal enemies, right? So you can like crushing infuse a Murden Hammer, and then also if you want to play Dex, you need to you use the War Scythe. So basically, halberds in that game are completely shattered. You can dragon infuse the regular halberd, and it's really good. Or you can even just like regular upgrade it to plus like 10 or something, right? You can go, or if you really feel like it, you can go crushing on a Murden Hammer, or even the halberd, and it's really good. Or you can go, and if you're playing a Dex character, you can go War Scythe. No, I have not played the remaster. I have not played the remaster. It's something I want to do, but it's something I have not done yet. Oop. It's definitely something I'm interested in doing at some point, but I don't. The problem is I don't have a PlayStation 5, and I don't want to buy a whole console just to play Demon Souls. Like I can't justify that, unfortunately. I would love to say like, oh, I'm gonna like buy Demon Souls on the frickin' PlayStation, but I don't want to give them. Like, I don't want to give them, like, $400 just to play Demon Souls. Like, that just sits wrong with me. But I guess I'm technically buying it for Bloodborne too. So, like, there's that, I guess. I'm not opposed to the remaster, but things would have to change for the remaster to be on the table, for me, at least. I hate to say it. Things would very much have to change for me. No! Let me drink. No, he's not gonna do it. Yeah, he's just not gonna let me drink. The scumbag. Can I do this? I can! Look at that! Look at that! Okay, okay, game. We're just doing things the crazy way, huh? Look at that. That's so crazy. Can I just like do that to him all the time? Look at that. Oh shoot, I pillar trolled myself there. Look at that. Cool. Okay. That was the slow way to do it, but it was kind of fun, I guess. Well, PS4 is on the table. PS4 is more on the table. PS4 is more on the table, and the reason why PS4 is more on the table is because PS4 will let me play Bloodborne and it won't be expensive, right? So PS4 is something I would consider doing. PS3, not gonna. PS5, not gonna happen for a long time. That's the issue. That's the PS5 is the problem. The buying the console itself is the issue because I'm not gonna play any other games for it. I'm not gonna play literally any other games for it. I will play no other games for it except for Demon Souls, either Demon Souls Remaster or whatever the next Soulsborne game is they're doing on the PlayStation, right? So, like, I would consider playing, like, I don't even know if Bloodborne can be played on the PS5. That's another issue. Can I even play Bloodborne on the PS5, right? So if I bought a PS5 today, could I even play Bloodborne? Okay, so that's fair. Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah, see, that's another issue, is changing the thermal paste and all this stuff. Like, I love doing this computer stuff, but, like, to spend a bunch of money to have to deal with that again, like, I don't know if that's on my list right now, as far as, like, stuff goes. Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of thing. It's that kind of issue where it's like, okay, like, this is all good stuff, but there's, like, I don't know if... Plus, the other issue is I need a capture card, too. So not only do I have to buy one of these consoles, I have to buy a capture card too. Or something like that. I need like a specialized video card that can sit there and capture footage off of one of these frickin' things. And I have to install that on my motherboard. Which, like, is not the end, once again, not the end of the world, but it's not something I'm excited to do either. So Bloodborne and Demon Souls Remaster have a serious problem. And that is that to play them, I need to spend hundreds of dollars, basically, just to even stream them or something like that. And so it's like really tough for me to justify doing casually. You know, it's the sort of thing that's probably not a bad idea in the long run. Or yeah, not the remaster, the remake or whatever, sure. It's definitely something I'm interested in the long run, but I have so many good games I want to cover. Okay, like I want to cover like Skyrim. I want to cover Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring's on PC, so I don't have to deal with that. I want to cover, you know, like maybe like Mass Effect or Fable or something. There's so many good PC games that I don't. So I just, you know, yes, I'm like a big Soulsborne YouTuber. I guess I'm not big, but like you get the idea. I'm like a Soulsborne YouTuber, you know. But like at the same time, paying hundreds of dollars for one of these consoles doesn't make sense. The thing is, if it made sense from a business perspective, I'd do it. If I was making $1,000 a month from YouTube or whatever, and like spending like $700 or like $500 or whatever off the rip. Like that would make more sense, but it's just I'd rather play Skyrim. I'd rather. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Oh, thank goodness. I'm done.
I'd much rather play Skyrim, and I'd much rather play Sekiro, and I'd much rather play, you know, I'd much rather play Elden Ring, right? Like I got plenty of games to cover. This is 4. This is +4. How many rings do I have? So I check by looking at my rings. So I have 4, yeah. So I'm on the 5th. This is the 5th. So I need to go to 7. I need 7 of these. I need 7 of these Dust Crown rings. Once I have 7 of these, I'm done. Oh, cool. That's good to hear. I love Elden Ring. So we'll get our 5th, or no, yeah, this is +4. So there's this cycle, and there's +5, and there's +6. So we have 3 more cycles to go, including this one. We have this cycle and then 2 more to go through, and then we're done. But yeah, like I said, if they let me put it this way, right? Okay, let's say Bloodborne PC came out tomorrow, we would talk about doing, if there's a Bloodborne PC version tomorrow, Bloodborne would be on the table, but there isn't. That's the issue, and so I'm just like, you know. That's the problem. But not that I don't want to. I would love to play Bloodborne on Shad PS4. I struggle. My computer struggles to run PS3 emulator. I mean, it really doesn't actually. It's actually doing a really good job running PS3 emulator. But I don't want. I don't know. Well, I mean, I'll look into it at some point. Maybe when I upgrade my computer. That's the other thing, is I have to save to upgrade my computer too. Right. So at some point, I'm going to need to build a new computer. And, you know, I can't be sitting there buying a PlayStation 5 when I need money for my new computer. You know what I mean? Like, I need to make sure, I need to save up money so I can actually buy a new computer And that's like way more important, right? Oh, hey, what's up, dude? This is +4. Yeah, I really should play it, but the problem is like I don't want to buy the console if I can avoid it. Yeah, I know some people really love Bloodborne and say it's the best in the franchise. I don't know. But I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's an amazing game. Here's some people. No, I'm sure it's an amazing game. I do want to play it. Yeah, that's the thing, is that I don't think that Shad PS4 is going to be ready for a while. I mean, look, I could be wrong. Maybe Shad PS4 is just right around the corner. But it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. That's okay. You know, I mean, people love Bloodborne. I'm not going to look. I don't want to sit here and step on people's toes and say I'm never going to play Bloodborne or anything. I really, really want to. Okay. The thing is, I probably need to upgrade my computer. Huh, interesting. My computer may need an upgrade, because I've already seen, like, a bunch of crashes, you know, and I have stutters sometimes when I stream and stuff like that, a little tiny bit. I mean, I'm amazed that I can record and stream and play a video game all at the same time. Yeah, we're almost done, actually. And then we'll move on to probably Sekiro or Skyrim. It's either Sekiro or Skyrim, I don't know which yet. Yeah, I can't wait to... I'm playing Elden Ring in the background right now. I'm trying to. Huh. I want really badly to play Bloodborne. Believe me. Maybe Bloodborne is in the cards. Okay, maybe I get like a super cheap PS4. Yes, I'm probably going to play Sekiro. I'm already a master at Sekiro, so I'm probably going to play Sekiro. Sekiro is probably coming down the pipe right now even. It may be the next game, or it may be Skyrim. I think it's going to go Sekiro then Skyrim. So I'm going to finish this character up, and then I'm going to go, and then I'm going to do Sekiro, and then I'm going to do Skyrim, and that's probably how the order is going to go for the stream future. So, but we're going to do this for another couple. This is probably going to go on for another week or two at least, because I have 3 more cycles to go, and then yeah, probably Sekiro. I'll do a Sekiro video too at the end of it all. I haven't even finished the Demon Souls New Game Plus guide, so I need to finish that. But I have the audio all queued up. I'm basically ready to go on that back end. Yeah, no, I'm gonna love it. I'm sure it's an amazing video game. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's awesome. I love Sekiro. I know it's not as good as the Souls game, but it's almost as good as the Souls game. It's like almost a Souls game. It's like okay, this is like close to a Souls game. You know, it's still a great game. I love it. I love Demon of Hatred. I like Demon of Hatred a lot. I like, you know, like Corrupted Monk and stuff. Super fun bosses. A lot of cheese. They let you cheese a bunch of stuff. Really good. Yeah, but I get it's like a Souls game light. It's like almost a Souls game. It's like, oh, this is close to being as good as a Souls game. Yeah, some people prefer Sekiro to Souls games. I disagree. I don't think it's as good as Souls games, but I love it. I'm not opposed to a PS4. I may buy a PS4 at some point, but I'm not buying the game is not an issue. I know I do. Well, I don't do piracy, but I do emulation and stuff. But the thing is, I would just buy a copy of Bloodborne. That's not the issue. Buying the game is not the problem. Okay, here's the thing. If they sit there, here's the thing, right? If they put a version of Bloodborne out on Steam today, yes, New Game Plus 4 is going on right now. If they put if tomorrow they had a PS4 a PC version of Bloodborne for $60, I would buy it immediately. I would literally pay $60 right now to play Bloodborne on PC. So it's not about the game. I'd love to. Buying the game is not the issue. I could hack a PS4 and get the game for free or whatever, but the problem is the PS4. The problem is having that piece of hardware and then plugging it into a capture card, right? So I don't have a capture card on my computer, so I need to go buy one of those. And that's really the issue. There's a whole bunch of other issues. I would pay 60, no problem. I mean, this is a game company that I trust. The issue is Sony. Sony's the problem, okay? Because I don't want a PlayStation. I don't need a PlayStation. I'm not a PlayStation guy. I've never been a PlayStation guy. You know, it's never been that way for me. Fudge. Okay, cool. I've never ever ever been a PlayStation guy, and so it's just not that kind of thing. No, I pay 60 for some games. For some games, I pay 60. The thing is, I've been kind of scammed. Every time a lot of times when I buy a full price game, I get scammed. Like I bought Warcraft 3 Reforged, total scam, complete ripoff. I shouldn't have paid $30 for that. And then another one I probably shouldn't have paid full price for was Starfield. I paid full price for Starfield, and that was maybe a mistake too. It was really only worth like $40, I think. No, I wouldn't. If I had a Switch, I would not hack it. Well, the thing is, I'm a PC guy. I've built my own computers and stuff. So this computer I'm using right now that I'm playing on, I built, and so that's kind of my angle. I'm the kind of guy who's willing to put a computer together. Yeah, there are issues with PC. Don't get me wrong, but it's just I grew up with it. I've grown up with it my whole life. It's just part of who I am, basically. So I'm just like accustomed to it. You know, when I was a kid, PCs. I'm a PC guy all the way from the earliest days. The exception is Nintendo. I'm also I'm a Nintendo guy too because I had a GameCube and a Game Boy Advance, and a Nintendo DS. That was really good too. But those are mobile consoles, and those are like cheapo mobile consoles, you know. And the games like cheap and stuff, or they were. Yeah, I'm a big computer guy. I'm never gonna not be a computer guy. I don't think I'll ever be a console guy. I respect consoles, but what matters to me is being able to build my own computer and pay like a good price for it. And the other thing is that because I do video editing and YouTube and stuff, I need it as a work machine. So I do like video editing and lots of other stuff. So I do work on computers too. I do 3D modeling too. So I do some 3D modeling as well with Inventor. So because I'm an engineer, well, I can't tell you guys, but I do engineering and stuff on computers too. I do like 3D model engineering and kind of and stuff like that. So I've used like Autodesk Inventor. I've used FreeCAD and stuff like that. So that's another reason. There's like a lot of reasons I'm a computer guy. And so I would need an entire other computer to use like some of these powerful 3D modeling programs, and that's never going to be worth it to me. That's the issue. That's the other issue. I haven't done it in a while. I haven't done a 3D model project in a bit, but yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I try really hard actually. So here's the thing. So here's my opinion about computers. Okay, first off, I don't really talk about like laptops and stuff. The thing about a laptop is they always have when you buy a laptop, you're screwed. Okay, I hate to break this to people, but if you're buying a laptop, you're screwed. Okay, the reason you're screwed if you're buying a laptop is because you either pay a lot or you're buying a piece of crap. Okay, I hate laptops. I actually really hate laptops. There are two kinds of laptops. There's good laptops and there's cheap laptops. And so if I was buying a laptop today, I personally would not spend less than like $800. Okay, so if you're buying a laptop, you need to be, or I'd pay like really low amounts. Okay, so you have two choices when you buy a laptop. You can either spend like 800 plus, if not more, or you can spend like 200. Okay, if you really want like a super dinky laptop to just do like word processing, and there are people like that. There are people like that where the only things they care about are watching YouTube or watching like streaming videos and doing like word processing, right? Like you're like a mom or something. You know, or you're like a single, I don't know. You don't really use computers. You're an outdoorsy type, right? You're some guy who's always outdoors, and you're never at your computer, right? And all you want to do is watch, the new TV show and word process, right? Well, there are laptops you can buy for like 200, right? And then what happens is when it breaks, you just like all your stuff's on the cloud, and you just throw it away and buy a new one. Yeah. So that's the thing that's the problem is that they overheat. There are all kinds of problems. So if you're buying a laptop and you want it to last, and you don't want a piece of crap you're going to hate for your whole life, you want to pay a decent amount, or you want to go like basically you basically just want to pay a decent amount. Okay, if you're buying my opinion is, yeah, that's the problem is that these computers these days are really crappy. You don't want a crappy laptop if you can avoid it. They'll last you for a while. You'll get some value out of a crappy laptop, but it will betray you. A crappy laptop will betray you 100% of the time. It doesn't matter what you do. A crappy laptop will inevitably betray you. Oh shoot! I forgot to do what's her face. I forgot to do Qualag. Okay, whatever. We'll do Qualag now. Yeah, I mean, it could be both. I don't know. But I would not pay for a crappy laptop. And then the other thing is that when I build my computers, I always build computers. And the thing is that building a computer is actually not that hard. There's some things you have to be careful about, but there's actually a lot of resources online. There's a Linus Tech Tips video here on YouTube that taught me how to build a computer. Okay, so I don't actually recommend buying a computer from a builder. I recommend building your own. Okay, personally. And it's worth the effort. It's worth the effort to do, in my opinion. If you mess something up, that's a problem, but it's actually worth the effort, in my opinion. Okay, now another thing about... I don't know about models. I actually don't use laptops, mostly. I basically only use main computers. But a couple tips I have... Oh, cool. That's actually really cool. So my... one thing for me is I recommend AMD everything. Another thing I recommend is literally AMD everything. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that you can... It's still possible, though. Another thing is you don't want a... Another thing is I recommend AMD everything. I recommend AMD everything. Okay, you can go... I think you can go Intel, NVIDIA route, but I think you're going to pay more for less. If you go Intel, NVIDIA, you'll pay more and you'll get less. I recommend going AMD everything. Because it's just cheaper and it's more likely to work, I think. You think so? Because I've always done AMD everything and it's always been good. I think I've always done AMD everything and it's always been good. I've had issues, technical problems, sure. But like as far as like price to value, I would go AMD everything every time. Personally. I would never ever ever have an Intel. I think I've had Intels in the past on like computers that people had given me. Like my uncle gives me a computer and he like it's a computer that he paid way too much for because he had somebody else build it and there's like an Intel in it. And there's like an Intel and like an NVIDIA or something. I think I've definitely had an NVIDIA card before. I think one of the first video cards I ever bought was an NVIDIA. Okay. Interesting. So so Intels are actually worth it, really? That's interesting. I don't know. I love... Okay. I don't know. I've always had... Okay, here's the thing. I'm a budget guy, though, right? So for me, Intel has... AMD has never gone wrong. AMD has never, ever, ever... Like, I've always saved a ton of money, and it's always been good to me. You know? So, like, I mean, I'm sure that Intel is fine. But if you want to build a computer and have, like, a really powerful rig and have saved money, I think you want to go AMD everything. As far as I know. And I've loved AMD everything. Chinese AMD everything. Oh, is there buffering? Let me check. It might be you. Interesting. Yeah, but I love my AMD video card. My AMD video card was like a steal. Am I buffering? Hold up, let me check. Oh, I'm not buffering. Okay, on my end, I'm not buffering. So I think it's unfortunately maybe just you. But anyway, yeah. So like I said, I love AMD. AMD is like, I wish I had a shirt that said I heart AMD. No, it's fine. Don't worry. If it's buffering, I need to know. So thank you. Don't be afraid to be like, is anyone buffering? Cause I need to know. Huh? Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure. I've had an NVIDIA. I've definitely had an NVIDIA graphics card before, and I think it was good. But I don't remember. It's been a long time. I can't remember if that's a video card that failed me or not. Because I've had video cards fail me, but I don't remember if it was NVIDIA or not. There may have been an NVIDIA video card that failed me, and I don't remember. But I don't remember it. I think maybe the NVIDIA video card did really good. I think maybe my NVIDIA video card is actually really good, but I can't remember. But my current video card is AMD. There's no way around it because I want to save money. I want the most value for the least amount of money, and so I go AMD. Chinese AMD. It comes in a box, and there's like, you know, frickin' there's like Chinese stickers in it that come with the box, and they're on the side of my PC, cause I need to save, you know, money or something. You know. And hopefully if watch it fry on me. Watch like I wake up tomorrow and my video card's like dead or something. That would suck. But as far as AMD has never gone. I've never had a bad experience with AMD yet. I love China, dude. What are you talking about? China's fucking awesome. Okay, look, people say you're not supposed to buy from China, but I have like I have every 3D printer I've ever bought has been from China, and most of the time they're good. Sometimes they're bad, but like basically every single 3D printer I've ever bought has been Chinese. So it's like freaking awesome, and like all my appliances are Chinese too, of course, because I want to, you know, my kettle's Chinese, my pots and pans are Chinese, you know, all this stuff's Chinese. But as far as like my tech goes, my 3D printers are all Chinese. I don't have a single Western 3D printer. I don't have a Prusa or anything like that. I have like a bunch of Crealities. And the reason why is because they're cheaper. You're getting almost the same product. You're getting a similar quality product for like half the price. These Chinese 3D printers rule. So I love Chinese tech. There's nothing I love more than Chinese tech. Maybe I'm making a mistake in some cases, but usually if it's Chinese tech, there's a good chance it's actually like an extremely good value. Yeah, I freaking love Creality. Creality's my go-to 3D printer company too. I would not go with a Prusa. I'm sure Prusas are amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure like Matter Hackers or Prusa are really good. But I love my Creality. I've had a whole bunch of different enders. They're super jank enders. Yeah, but you got to be careful with Chinese tech too. Absolutely. But I think the cons or the pros outweigh the cons, basically, for Chinese tech. I think it's just how it is. It's just the world we live in. Come on. Okay. But yeah, I mean, like, I understand why people don't trust Chinese tech. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I could get a Chinese phone, I would. If I could get, like, a Huawei, I would. I would straight up get, like, a Huawei. I mean, I'm not worried about that, honestly. As much as I hate to say it, I'm not as worried about that, personally. I've had so many good results out of Chinese technology that it's hard for me to hate Chinese tech. That's the thing. And I understand, if I could get, like, a compromised, like, Huawei phone, I totally would. If I could get, like, a really good, like, super cheap Chinese, like, Huawei phone, I absolutely would. I'd be the first guy in line for a freaking Huawei. Because I want to pay less and get more. Or I want to pay less and get as much. I want to pay like half as much and get as much quality, personally. But yeah, I mean that was the main issue with that is, you know, the Huawei backdoor or whatever, I guess. So maybe it's just as well. Maybe it's a good thing I can't get a Huawei phone, but that's the sort of thing I would do, totally. Because my phone is like my $200 phone is pretty okay. But my issue with it is I don't want it to like break or something. Or I don't want to have to like yeah, that's the thing is that I'm not even sure that these backdoors or the criticisms our government has of these Chinese tech is even fair. Like that's the other issue because it's so politicized. There's no way to know what's even the truth. Like I assume my tech has all backdoors in it, right? Like I assume everything American they have some way in anyway. So it's like I'm not really sure that the Chinese variant is like really actually worse as far as security goes. That's another thing. But I don't know. You know, like who knows? So I mean, the government banned Huawei. You can't even buy a Huawei phone here, so it doesn't matter. I wish like I said, I wish I could. I wish I could go to the phone store and buy a Huawei, but I can't. But yeah, I mean, so far my video card has been reliable. I think I've had it for 2 or 3 years now at this point, and it's been pretty rock solid. So maybe it'll fail in the next year or two, and I'll be like, oh, well, you know, I paid $200 or $300. I paid like like $350 for it or something, and it failed, right? So that's possible. That's definitely not impossible. That's like a very real thing that could happen to me. But we'll see. So far, it hasn't been an issue. So far, it's been a rock solid piece of hardware. I can tell you in like 1 second. Or it's an AMD something. Let me once I get out of the swamp, I'll look it up for you, or I'll check. But I need to get out of the swamp first. One sec. One second. We'll find out. We'll find out what my freaking processor is. So we go this PC properties. So I have a AMD Ryzen 5. It's this. One second. Let me copy paste it. I have. Well, we need to take the. Oh, did I not do the elevator right? Because my plan was to go to Firelink. Or no, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did. I think I went to the Firelink elevator, right? Hopefully I went to the Firelink elevator like I thought I did. With any luck. That's my video. That's my processor. And it's been good. I've had no issues with it. It's been good. Maybe you'll notice that it's not that impressive. It's a pretty average processor, I think. Yeah, that's the point. It's not top of the line. It's just a good solid AMD classic. That's my opinion. You don't need anything more than this, frankly. I don't think most people need something stronger than this processor. I think you can have a better processor than this, but for most applications, it's not necessary. It's a it's more power than most people need, as far as I can tell. And then if the video card breaks, they'll just replace it. Just buy another one. Just get it like a slightly better AMD. Well, I don't even know what it is. You wish you were most people. Or what did I say about most people? Oh, you. So I guess you need a lot of computing power. I take it. You need something stronger than that. You're really hauling loads with your CPU, I guess. See, not me. I need to do like video editing. I need to, like I said, 3D modeling, stuff like that, right? And that's kind of it. Other than like YouTube videos, stuff like that too, of course. I need a bunch of memory. I have like 64 gigs of memory or something. Or maybe it's only 32. I can't remember. I think I have 64 gigs of memory though, which is really helpful. I recommend that too, having a lot of memory. Not skimping on the memory, that really helps. Because there's going to be a lot of things. There's a lot of things, I guess, that consume a lot of memory, or just like eat up your memory like crazy. So that's another thing that you can do as well, is have a bunch of memory, I guess. And there's a lot of everything I know about building a computer. Oh shoot! 10 years old, huh? I'm glad that it's still working. Because 10 years is a long time for a laptop. Something always fails. Shoot, dude. Yeah, and you can't replace it either. There's no way. Not that you really want to in a lot of cases, anyway. Because if you're replacing the CPU, maybe you can just replace the motherboard too, I guess. I don't know. And I have my last gaming computer is sitting there in the corner. But I think I'm never going to turn it on again at this point. That was just in case I needed something broke and I needed to cannibalize parts temporarily. Or like the computer broke or something and I need to look stuff up. Well, there you go. I mean, hey. Then you can buy a new one. Then you can do yourself a favor and buy a new one. Did they raise their prices, really? For the new Xbox or whatever? The Xbox One or whatever? Is it more expensive now, finally? Or is it more expensive now? Is that what's going on? Is that what Xbox is up to these days? Is that what dastardly Xbox is doing? See, look at how easy this is because of this great site. Exactly. Yeah, well, I like I said, I recommend building a PC if you can. Although a lot of people need laptops for business or whatever, you know. They need to be able to use a laptop for this, that, or the other thing. Which is totally fine. But I personally love my, but like I said, there's nothing quite like building a PC, in my opinion. It's a very fun experience. No way. Dude, that's sad. Well, isn't Game Pass still a pretty okay deal in a lot of ways? Don't you still get some pretty okay stuff out of Game Pass? Isn't it like oh, this month I get to play this game just for free? Well, I mean, it's not free. You pay for the Game Pass, but you get to try like every new game out or something. Like that seems pretty okay. I'm not like gonna sit there and defend it because I don't buy it. You know, I don't have a freaking Xbox. I mean, I had an Xbox back in the old days. I had an Xbox, the original Xbox. I had one of those. It was actually really funny because I actually picked it up right during the Xbox 360 era. And, oh, this is +4. This is +4. So we only have this. We have this cycle and then 2 more. And then we're done. Because it's funny, I had the original Xbox, and it was actually a really great console. The original Xbox is like a super underrated console, actually. Where is he? There he is. Hold up, I gotta kill him. Just in case. Oh, come on. I woke up the freaking hive here. Okay, come on, guys. Oh, come on. Anyone else see that snap back, that backstep snap? Holy heck. Okay, there we go, jeez. But yeah, so I had an original Xbox, and that console is actually really awesome. It was actually a really, really, really freaking awesome console. Hold on, let me stand up. Let me stand up for a quick second. Everybody. Thank you. But anyway, I had the original Xbox, and that console was so good. It was like a ridiculously good console. I love the Xbox, so the original Xbox, because you get and I had like Halo 2. I had like a DDR game for it. Oh, we needed to kill what's his face too while we're here. Shoot, I did a DDR game for it. I had Halo 2. I had this game called The Bard's Tale. That was really good. I had this really cool game, The Bard's Tale. I had Morrowind for it too. So that's how I had Morrowind, is I had it for the Xbox. I had Vice City, and it was actually really crappy. I had Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and I thought it was really crappy and awful. Hold up. Okay, buddy. Come on. Oh, shoot. We'll just arrow him.
Well, what have we here?
Cool. Oh, is he just ignore it?
You leave
Yeah, but I haven't had an Xbox since then.
I was once grateful to you. But if this is our fate, so be it.
The original Xbox was awesome. Yeah, that's the problem, is that they give you too many options, and you still have to pay like the whole the thing. Like I don't know, I'm kind of opposed to it, to be honest with you. It's not like I hate the system. It's not a bad system, but it's not a system that it's not a system that I think I would enjoy. I'd much rather have like a small number of games that I really love than like to be able to play every like racing game ever. You know, like, oh, Forza 20 or something, you know, is out. And it's like, I think that would be fun to play for like an hour, and then I get sick of it and I would like uninstall it, you know. But I don't know, maybe that's the pleasure of it, is you get to play like Forza. You know, like I would never buy one of those games, but if it was on Game Pass, I'd try it, you know. Like, I'd never, ever in my life buy, like, a racing game, I don't think. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But I mean, like... But, I mean, you know, I understand the Xbox Live days. This is one of those things I talk about. This is one of those things. The Game Pass is how World of Warcraft ruined video games. Okay, World of Warcraft... The thing is, okay, so MMOs before World of Warcraft used to be like super fringe. Before World of Warcraft, MMOs were like this really, really fringe thing. You have these games like EverQuest and stuff where no one's playing them. You know, like no one's playing them. So they have this this subscription fee, and then basically no one's actually paying it. There's like a very tiny number of people who are actually playing this game because it's like such a weird game. And then what happened is World of Warcraft came along and kind of shattered expectations. You know, so it's a subscription game, It's a subscription model game, but there's tons and tons of people playing it because the game is designed by Blizzard, and Blizzard actually once knew how to design games. Nowadays they don't, right? But once upon a time they knew how to make games, they knew how to design them. And so they designed World of Warcraft, and people loved it, and they were charging $15 a month to play World of Warcraft. And what happened is, like, big money capital got really excited because that's a lot of money, actually, right? So your typical video game company only charges like $60 a year for whatever their new game is, and then maybe like DLC on top of that, and then freaking, you know, Blizzard is sitting there getting $15, 12 times. Why am I here? Why did I teleport back to this? Oh my gosh. This is, oh my gosh. That was not how this is supposed to go. I was supposed to go back to Firelink. Oh my gosh. This is the worst. But anyway, so World of Warcraft is sitting there making 150 over, you know, like almost $200 a month off people. You know, and then they're looking at that, or $200 a year off people. And like big capital money got involved and saw that, and they're like, we want to do that. And so that's where like Xbox Live and Game Pass come from, is Xbox trying to do like a World of Warcraft thing. Now, to be fair, I don't think World of Warcraft is that bad a value proposition, and I also don't think Game Pass is that bad either, I guess. But it's definitely like a trend in gaming with like subscriptions and stuff, because like big huge banks and stuff want subscriptions. That's like the thing. I remember just talking to this guy. This is a long time ago, and this is it's business related stuff. But I was talking to this guy, and he was talking about how like great subscription business models are. He was talking about how awesome subscription business models are, and how like that's the future of like businesses, right? Like businesses aren't going to sell a product anymore. It's all about like a subscription, I guess, was his thing. Yeah, that bothers me a little bit too. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that, like, it's whatever. Like, if I really wanted to play World of Warcraft, I could, you know. And then, wait, so even if you're playing Dark Souls, you have to play online? So to do, like, Elden Ring or Dark Souls online, you have to pay? To connect to, like, From Software servers? Because that's a little cringe. That is a little cringe, actually. I hate to say it. I think there should be some stuff that's free online, I guess. Because, I mean, if, like, Steam is free. Like, Steam Online is free. Like, I can do multiplayer Dark Souls 1. Okay, fair enough. Okay, sure. Yeah, because Steam Online is free. I don't have to pay anyone to do Steam Online. Like, I can co-op with my brother, or I can PvP in Dark Souls, and it's totally free. That's how it should be. If Xbox is charging for that, that stinks a little tiny bit. If Sony and Xbox are charging for that stinks a little tiny bit. Not that I think it's like necessarily the worst thing in the world or whatever, but not my favorite, definitely. Definitely. But then again, you know, I paid over $1,000 for my rig, so like I don't know. I think there was a time when consoles. I don't know if this is true anymore, but the idea being is a console is a loss leader. So the idea being is that they charge less for consoles than they basically charge cost for the console. So when you buy a video game console, you're actually paying you're paying like you're getting a value product basically, like, or you're for all the hardware and stuff that's in the console, they're not charging you very much. But then the games are really expensive to offset that, right? So Sony charges game developers a fee, or like probably a chunk of the price to publish games on the console, right? I guess. And so what happens is when you buy a console, you're getting a great deal for the hardware, but then the software is where they get you, right? So maybe this like Game Pass stuff is to offset that or something. I don't know, because like I said, my rig is like $1,000, right? So if you're buying a new PlayStation 5 and it's only like $500 or $600, that's not the end. That's not the worst deal in the world, right? So like if you're paying, so a Game Pass, I guess, would be like, you know, a year more, you know, maybe like a year or two in like addition from that. Yeah, so like I don't know. The value proposition is kind of interesting. I'm not like opposed to it or anything like that as far as like It's a product or a service, I guess, right? And you know, the question is whether or not the service is like worth it, I guess. But I remember looking at like Xbox Live and stuff and thinking that this is totally not. Well, I remember being a kid and like kind of like not hating Xbox Live because at the time I was into like World of Warcraft and stuff, right? And but yeah, I don't. Retrospectively, I'm not sure that like Xbox Live was like a good deal. Definitely. But I mean, now I'd never pay for it. But RAM prices. Are RAM prices really that crazy right now? See, someday, I'll have to build another computer at some point in the future. I'm not sure when. Because at this rate, I could probably afford to build another computer, but I don't have to yet. Is the thing. Where am I going? I've rung both bells, right? Hopefully, I've rung both bells because I think it's Sen's Fortress next. No, I loved building a computer. Building a computer is freaking awesome. It was like the best experience. Well, maybe not the best experience, but it was really awesome. Building a computer is really awesome. Really awesome experience. That I recommend. If you're up to it. If you can sit there and say to yourself, like, okay, you know, I gotta just like make sure I do my research and know exactly what I'm doing. You know, watch like the Linus Tech Tips videos. Yeah, it is fun though. There's a lot of fun involved too. But the thing is, like, I do think that if you're buying a computer out of the box, they are gouging you, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. But my suspicion is that if you're buying a computer out of the box, they're totally gouging you. Like 100%. They're like absolutely 100% like overcharging you like crazy for what you get out of a computer. I think. That's the other issue. It's not the same as like a console where you're like getting a pretty good deal on the hardware. You're always gonna pay more because somebody has to put it together. Whatever computer you buy, there has to be some guy to put it together. And like, you know, obviously that guy, you know, some cute computer repair guy, you know, who went to community college or whatever, which like is fine. More power to him. Yes, that's the thing is it's a privilege to be able to build it. It's like legitimately a privilege. See, the thing is, right, you can't... Oh, shoot. Nowadays, you can't fix your car. You know, you just can't. You just can't do it anymore. You're not allowed to. Right? They don't let you fix your car. You can do the stupid Jiffy Lube crap. You know, you can change your oil. Some people can, right? It's tough because you need special tools, right? You know, you can change your oil. You can do a couple other things. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about a car... you can't really do anything to it unless you know exactly what you're doing. Computers are kind of the last frontier where you can actually, it's a technical thing, but you can do it yourself. Computers are like straight up the last frontier. That's like it. If you want to fix your car, no luck. No luck at all. You got to take it to somebody. Right? It's just not a thing anymore. Fixing cars, it just ain't part of the deal anymore. You know, which is probably just as well because if you screw something up, you're in trouble. But for computers, you actually get the opportunity to do it, and so it's really pleasurable. And it enhances your ability to understand what a computer can do for you. Oh shoot, fudge. So I have to admit I'm a big proponent of building your own PC. As much as anyone can, more or less. Like I said, I understand for a lot of people it's not really feasible for whatever reason, you know. Or if you make a mistake, that's a problem, you know. It's like, oh, you know, I made a mistake and then... But they're remarkably resilient. There's only a couple things where if you goof them up, you're in trouble. The big one is installing the CPU, right? Obviously, if you bend the pins like crazy, that's an issue, right? Or you accidentally get crap on the CPU pins, right? There's a lot of little things that can go wrong. Where, like, you get, like, goo on the CPU pins, or you bend the CPU pins, or your motherboard is the wrong type of motherboard, right? So each CPU manufacturer has their own motherboards associated with them. Yes, exactly. So the idea being is if you buy an AMD processor, you must buy an AMD motherboard, and if you buy a Intel processor, you must buy an Intel motherboard, right? And if you mess that up, that's a problem. Right, and there's lots of different motherboards and processors and stuff like that out there, so you got to be really careful about that. That's one of the main pitfalls. There's not that many pitfalls, but that is one of them. right? Because obviously if you mess that up, that's an issue. So yeah, there's like a but nowadays, if you go on Newegg, so every time I've bought computer parts, I buy them from Newegg. And the thing about Newegg is Newegg has a special tool now where they go over, where they'll tell you whether or not your computer is compatible. If you put a bunch of parts, if you put a bunch of computer parts in your shopping cart, you can literally go through their tool that tells you whether or not they're compatible or not. So now you have even better tools than ever to tell whether or not something's compatible. There's a time back in the early 2000s and stuff where there was lots of compatibility issues and lots of software issues and all kinds of stuff like that, but a lot of those have been really ironed out in the 2010s. Yes. So there's better support now than ever to build your own computer. So if you really want to build your computer, your own computer, my recommendation would be to go to Newegg, and like we'll do some research, watch like a Linus Tech Tips video and stuff like that, and see what and like watch a video where he's like, oh, here's how you build a PC, right? And then what you want to do is you want to go to Newegg and you want to decide what your price range is, right? You want to say like, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000, which is what I recommend. If you're a really hardcore computer user and you're doing lots of gaming or you're doing lots of like technical stuff, I recommend spending about $1,000. If you go over that, it's diminishing returns. You can spend more and get more stuff. You might want to go over for a computer case. So every time I've done it, I've always bought a super cheapo computer case, and so there is a reason to spend more, and that would be to buy a nicer computer case. Because I think you do get a little something when you buy a nicer computer case. But I haven't done that yet. I always go for like a cheapo, like $50 to $100 case. Because I'm a big cheapskate. But next computer I buy will probably have a nicer case. But yeah, so like then you want to decide your price range, like how much you want to spend. Like I said, I recommend spending more on the CPU and the video card. You want to spend a little bit less on the other parts, but you want to spend the most you can on the CPU and the video card. And then you just like follow a guide to put it together. Yeah, well that's the thing is I'm just trying to save money where I can. You know, because it gets expensive. If I'm paying like $350 to $400 for a video card and $250 to $300 for a CPU, I have to save money somewhere. Something has to make the cut. The problem is if there's ventilation issues, but at least on my case, the case is super cheap and crappy. But there's at least ventilation. There's at least ventilation. So it's not. So the main issue with the case is you don't want a case that has really crappy ventilation as best you can. Most cases nowadays don't seem to have ventilation problems, but that's one thing you could be wary of is a case that doesn't have ventilation issues. And then you need to buy a bunch of fans for it. So I had to buy a bunch of fans for it, stick them on there, you know. But once that was done, it was all ready to go. Wasn't an issue. And so yeah, I have like a really cool. Oh yeah. You want one thing I usually spring for is an aftermarket cooling. Is an aftermarket CPU cooler, just air. You can do water too if you want, but I just do air. Personally, right? Like there is I've never had a water rig. Maybe my next rig will be water. I don't know. I don't think I want to make the jump to water, honestly. I think on the surface, like, water seems really cool, but I don't think it's for me. I think air is kind of my way. But I have an aftermarket air cooler. I do aftermarket air coolers, though. I don't use the stock ones. I'm sure the stock ones are fine. But I've always bought an aftermarket air one. I don't know if they're actually worth it. Yeah, that's the thing, is it does intimidate me, too. Absolutely. I'm very much like, you know, just because if there's a leak or something, like, that's a crisis, you know. Like, lots of things can go wrong with the computer, but that would be a really big one. So I think maybe I'll never make the jump to water. I'll never do water cooling, no matter what. That's just, like, not going to be something I do as long as I live. But there you go, you know. I just don't, yeah, so probably not. I mean, maybe if they have, like, a new, like, you know, like, oil cooled or something, you know? Like a water cooled that's, like, oil. Oh, shoot. Because you can technically submerge your computer in oil. I've actually seen a bunch of videos on it. You can literally submerge your computer in oil, and it will still work. But obviously that's like really, it's the main issue with that is if there's a leak in your case, it's like a huge mess. There's like gallons of oil all over your floor, you know, and so that's the issue with that. Is cleanup. But yeah, you can there might be some tech in the future that's like oil cooled, something like that, you know, and that might be a little more appropriate because you can literally, like I said, you can just take your naked computer parts and you can literally submerge them in oil. Because they don't because the problem with water, there's two issues with the water. The first problem with water is that, oh shoot, oh come on, boo. The first issue with water is that it's obviously it conducts electricity, right? So little tiny electronic pieces, it shorts them out, right? Because like water will conduct electricity. But the other problem with water is it will dissolve tiny pieces of the electronics and make them more conductive. So you have like an issue where so over time it'll like degrade your computer parts too if it gets to stick on them, even if it's not causing any problems immediately, like residual moisture and stuff. So, but oil doesn't do either of those things. There's oils that both don't conduct electricity, and also they don't dissolve computer parts either. So you can have your oil, you can literally submerge your computer in oil, and that's the thing that I was watching videos of. So, yeah, like that's the kind of thing that could potentially be in the future, like a water cooling system that's oil cooled, basically. Would be like a cool middle ground, but I don't know if that exists yet, or if it's like worth it or something. Yeah, so that'd be kind of interesting. But so maybe if that happens, if somebody says something, if that starts being a thing, if someone's like, oh, we're doing oil cooling, that's something I would consider. Personally, but hasn't happened yet, unfortunately, for me. No, it's fine. I love my aftermarket air cooler. I don't know if it's worth it. I haven't done a side-by-side comparison. I've just always bought an aftermarket air, but I think maybe in the future I'll try the pre-install. Some people, I think I've read online that they're good, but I don't know, because there's like a ton of aluminum fans on mine. You know, like it's like a giant, like a huge like nest of aluminum fans on mine. Like this giant network of aluminum fans that then is supposed to like whisk away heat. But I don't actually know if it works. No, I'm not gonna do that. I think that's too much electricity spending for what you get out of it. But I don't know. I'm not really like a computer guy. Like I'm kind of a computer guy, but I'm not like really, you know. Like there's a big difference between like me and like a professional or something. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like that's not going to be worth it. I don't know. I guess if you want maximum cooling. The thing is, there's only so much cooling. The problem with that is you might get like water and stuff. Because what happens is that those... Okay, here's actually a really crucial problem with that you have to be aware of is air conditioning units. Through the process of doing what they do, they have water. They create a pool of water. Okay, so what can happen is you'll have air conditioning units where if something gets clogged up, they'll start shooting out water. They'll start spitting out water, right? And so if they start spitting out water, that's a problem because obviously computers don't like water. Although to be fair, if they're spitting out water, they're not supposed to be. So you can just like fix it or something. But I've had that in the past where a window air conditioner unit would make a ton of noise and shoot out water, and I had to like go through and unclog it. I had to take like a freaking something or other and and unclog it. It took me a while to do. So that's one thing you got to be careful of. Oh shoot, hold up, I need to do this. I need to level up actually. We'll go dexterity. So I think I'm just gonna go dexterity 99, which is like really stupid, but whatever. That amounts to a very tiny amount of extra damage, really. But it is what it is. And then we'll use Crystal Falchion for this next boss, I think. We'll kill Orange Cedar Smo with the Crystal Falchion, I think. Or maybe I'll use the... This boss is hard enough that I could use the Crystal... that I could use the Crystal... Scythe, honestly. How much... Okay, yeah, and I have some durability. The problem is I have to make another one this cycle. I have to upgrade another Crystal Scythe. Great Scythe, probably. Because there's a good chance it's going to break before I kill the next boss, or before I kill all the DLC bosses with it. But that's its job. Okay. God, you gotta love the Falchion, man. Holy heck, I love the Falchion. My favorite, the Falchion. Oop. We need that. No, they're really bad in other Souls games, actually. Okay, so in Dark Souls 2, they're okay. There's a couple okay. There's a couple okay sides in Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 3, they're also okay. I wouldn't call them good. They're in. There's a bunch of different weapon classes in Dark Souls 2 that are kind of crappy, and sides are one of those. However, there is Frida's Scythe. So there's a scythe you can use that's kind of okay. It's Frida's Scythe. It is like wonky scaling, and it's like the problem is you can't buff it. I don't think. So it is that crippling problem where you can't buff it, but it's okay. They're okay in Dark Souls 3. There's some that are okay in Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 2, there's in Dark Souls 2, there's one that scales with Dark. There's the Scythe, there's the Nar Alma Scythe, and that's pretty good, actually, too. And I think there's a couple others that are fine. The problem is they're worse than Halberds. And Halberds are pretty good, actually, in Dark Souls. Halberds are actually pretty good in Dark Souls 2. But they're hard to use. And Scythes have the same problem, except they're just worse. So that's the issue with them in Dark Souls 2. Is it's like a Scythe is already like kind of an expert level weapon, like a very advanced weapon, and halberds are like better than that, right? So that's kind of the issue with them in Dark Souls 2 or whatever. Shoot, fudge. He beats me. Oh shoot. There we go. There we go. But anyway, so halberds are better. That's the problem. Halberds are noticeably better, and so because halberds are better, that's the issue with them. But they're okay. There's an okay size in that game. I wouldn't like say they're like the best or anything. And then for Demon Souls, there actually aren't size. Yeah, tennis match indeed. Except I was on the losing side. Ordinarily, I want to be on the winning side of that one, but no, this time I was on the losing side for some reason. Oh, come on. Come on, bro. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Unbelievable, huh? But anyway. And then, what's the other thing? And then in Demon Souls, there aren't size. There's one weapon that's called the War Scythe, but it's just a halberd, and it's really good actually. It's actually a really good halberd, but it's just a halberd. So like or it's a pole arm. They're called pole arms, I guess, right? But yeah, so that's the other thing in Demon Souls. But yeah, I think this is probably the only Souls game where size are like really meta. I would say this is really the only Souls game where size are like legitimately kind of meta. I think. And there's some strength weapons that are about as good. I think maybe a large club would be similar in quality. So if you really wanted to, you could use large club, and probably even great club too. It'd be slower and heavier, but that doesn't mean it's bad. There we go. It would, like I said, it would definitely be slower and heavier, but that's not necessarily the end of the world. As far as this stuff goes. Okay, we need to go to Tomb of the Dark Moon here. So I can join the Covenant, so I can kill Ornstein fast. Because we're going to do great, I think we're going to do Great Scythe Darkmoon Blade on him, and then we'll kill Smo. I don't know, we could do either one. DS1 and Sekiro, they're both good. I don't know, which one do you want to play? Because they're both amazing. I recommend playing both of them. It's just a matter of which order you want to go in. But honestly, DS1, like... DS1 has kind of like an old school RPG vibe to it. It's like hard to ignore. DS1 is really fun because it reminds me of like an old school RPG game. It kind of has a little bit of that Demon Souls energy to it, and so when you're playing Dark Souls 1, you're getting like kind of that fun aspect of it. Sekiro is a very different. So it's going to be hard to get used to. My advice to you would be to play like the first hour or two of Sekiro and then ask yourself if you're ready for Sekiro yet, because it's very different. The second you play Sekiro, you'll know. Or in the first like hour, you'll know. You'll figure it out. You'll be like, "Oh my god." Cuz it's very different. It is very different. In like kind of a bad way almost. But it's fun. I love Sekiro a lot. But getting used to it's going to be really hard. Well, it's actually not hard. It's hard to get used to. It's literally just hard to get used to. If you've played a Dark Souls game, it's hard to like understand. It's hard to grasp and like comprehend because it's so different. It's different. It is very similar in many ways, but it's also very different. And so if you're used to Elden Ring and you're used to DS3, yeah, it's going to be a massive headache to get used to it. I love it. I love Sekiro. Don't get me wrong. Once you get used to it, it's worth it. But before you get used to it, it's going to be a giant pain. Dark Souls 1 is kind of more self-explanatory, right? If you've played Elden Ring, you understand Dark Souls 1. You may not understand every aspect of Dark Souls 1, but you get the idea. You know, okay, I dodge roll. There you go, right? You get the concept. The idea is not going to be like this huge pain to understand. But Sekiro is a huge pain to understand, especially, and the more experienced you are in Souls games, the trickier it is to get used to Sekiro, because of how weird it is. Sekiro is like actually too weird. It's kind of why Sekiro is panned, is because it's actually too weird of a game in a lot of ways. Is like the issue with Sekiro. Like I said, I love Sekiro. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's really good. Sekiro is very good. It's a lot of fun to play. But watching me stream Sekiro is not going to be as much fun. I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about, because I do feel like I'm pretty competent at Sekiro, actually. Yes, basically. It's a lot of parrying. Be prepared to parry basically everything, essentially. But it's a lot more organic than that, but you're basically going to parry everything. The problem is there's like no RPG stuff. You don't have any build options, really. You kind of do, but you really don't. The build options are really gimmicky and like one-dimensional. So I don't really recommend thinking of it as like an RPG game. Shoot. Go. Okay, cool. I did that first try. That's really lucky. That's really lucky that I did that first try. That's like the worst. That's like the worst part of the whole game. But I love Sekiro so much. But like, if you're expecting a Souls game, you're going to be disappointed. You need to be prepared for something that's very different. This has like some similarities, but is still very different. And that's kind of the problem with Sekiro. Not that I don't love it. Okay. We'll do this. Oh, we need DMB. And I need to actually do a couple other things too. I gotta fight my way to it. Then we'll do the first bosses. We'll do like the early game bosses. Once I kill ONS here. I gotta fight my way through these. Because I need to get the chest. I need to get the lightning, the Demon Titanite chest. It's actually a lot of fun, though. The parrying aspect to it is the best thing. Frankly, being able to... Parrying stuff is the funnest part of it, to be honest with you. It's actually the funnest thing about it. Because and it makes pairing in these games look really bad by comparison. It's a brilliant game. It's a truly brilliant, genius video game. It's just very different. It's gonna take some getting used to. You can definitely see what they're going for with it, and it's almost the sort of thing where I wish kind of there was a second game with more RPG stuff, because it's a really cool game with a really cool concept. It just needed more time, I guess, in the oven. It needed like more weapons and stuff like that. It needed like another pass. There needed to be a little more work done on it. Oh, there we go. Because like the main issue with it is that the prosthetics suck. The prosthetics really suck. I actually really hate the prosthetics. Because they're actually kind of not very useful in a lot of cases. Sometimes they're very useful, but a lot of times they're sort of not. And it's because of the way the game is designed. Oh shoot. Because the thing is, there's a resource called Spirit Emblems. Okay, so what Spirit Emblems do is you trade them in to cast spells. You trade them in to use your, you have to trade them in to use your prosthetics. But then you also have to trade them in to cast, like, your special abilities. And so they're competing with each other for your slots. And so there's scenarios where, like, one is good and the other is bad. But that's like it. You don't really have any build options. You don't really have any like cool like options. But it's an incredibly fun video game. Streaming it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very technical. There's a lot of ways to make it harder too. That's one thing I love. So I've done it a bunch of times with Demon Bell Charmless. I've done a bunch of Sekiro Demon Bell Charmless. So the idea being is at the beginning of the game, once you've beaten the game once, the kid at the beginning you can give the charm back to the kid at the beginning. So there's like a kid there's like the kid in the game. He's like an important character, and he like before the game starts he gives you a charm, and you can give it back to him to make the game harder. And then also there's something called the Demon Bell, and basically what that is there's this like secret bell in the game, and if you ring it, it makes the game harder. And so you can give him the charm, and then you can go Demon Bell, and it's like really fun. Or it's like really hard. It's like really frustrating, but like fun too. And you have to like your parries have to be like perfect and stuff. So it's a game for a guy like me, basically. A guy like me loves it. Once I really got into Sekiro, it took me a long time. It took me a lot. Like there was a time where I played like the first hour and I'm like, I don't get it. And then I had to like come back and do it later. And then when I finally got it, I'm like, oh, this is really awesome actually. This is like actually really, 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 really impressive and awesome. But it took me a while. And then it's like really tough. Like there's a lot of bosses that are like really tough to deal with too, especially for your first time. Even now, like I would struggle. It's definitely Soulsborne style bosses for sure. You actually can't. You can try. Like you can do Demon Bell, but you can't do Charmless. You can't do Charmless first cycle. Yeah, I love hard games too. The thing is, I think it's not too hard. But it's a bad way to learn the game. You really do need to beat the game the first time normally to like get it. It will literally be like too hard if you try, because like you're fighting like muscle memory and stuff. Like learning how to play Sekiro is like its own entire kind of thing. And so I don't necessarily. I mean, you can do Demon Bell if you want. Demon Bell is fine, but there's a reason they don't let you do Charmless your first playthrough, and it's because Charmless is a lot harder. Charmless, the basic idea of Charmless is not only do you take more damage and deal less. Yeah. Not only do you take more damage and deal less, the big problem with Charmless is that you, oh, I didn't open up the shortcut. 1 second. The big problem with Charmless is that your parries have to be perfect. If your parries aren't perfect, you take chip. So, like, that's a big issue, because you're gonna screw up your parries a lot. You are going to screw up your parries a lot while you're learning. It's, like, actually a really hard process to learn how to parry correctly in Sekiro. And so, like, punishing you an insane amount for failing it is going to be like really difficult. Yeah, I would say Charmless is like a little tiny bit too hard for a first playthrough. You can try it though. Yeah. So it's like imagine having to do like a 10 frame parry and having to do it perfect every time, or you just instantly die. That's the problem with doing Charmless first try. But it's really fun when you're a master at it. Because you should be able to get like every single... Man, like a second playthrough or something, it's totally amazing. Like I did it for a second playthrough and it was awesome. And there's like a bunch of different endings too, so you got to do that too. So there's lots of reasons to replay the game. So I wouldn't rush into Charmless too fast, but you can try Demon Bell out because there's actually a way to back out of it. It gives you an item and you can cancel the covenant or whatever. So if you're doing Demon Bell, you always have an out. If you find it too hard, you can always like stop. But I recommend learning the fights more or less before I go too crazy with the difficulty. Because they are tough fights. There's a lot of really tough fights. And for some of the fights, you're going to need a certain amount of like intuition. Oh, interesting. You're going to need to like learn, kind of build up like the skill set for how to deal with them. Fights like Guardian Ape and stuff. They're not tough, actually. Well, they kind of are. Like Twin Apes, Guardian Ape, whatever. There's some tough fights in Sekiro for sure, especially if you're like new to it. Once you get used to it, it's not so tough. I hate when he does this. Poor Ornstein. Let's kill Ornstein second. Shoot. Love how this is like the hardest boss in the game. Like unironically. Oh shoot. Well, if I screw it up, it's gonna be hard. I need not screw it up. Yeah, so doing all achievements in Sekiro is pretty fun too. Yeah, so that's the nice thing about these games is that doing all achievements is pretty reasonable for all these games. Like I definitely wouldn't recommend against doing either Dark Souls 1 all achievements or Dark Sekiro all achievements. Those are both really good experiences. And they won't take you like a million years or anything like that. They're not like insanely difficult. They're difficult enough that it's kind of fun. They're grindy and difficult enough that it's kind of fun. And they don't overstay their welcome. And that's like part of the really great thing about Dark Souls, is there are actually games that are worth 100%ing. Most games aren't. Most games just are not worth 100%ing. Like Dark Souls, the Dark Souls trilogy is like actually worth 100%ing. And it's actually kind of fun to do. You actually get some value out of it. You know, it feels like you're not wasting all your time doing it. And then it's like, but it's still tricky enough that it never gets really stale. Like this guy is always going to give me problems no matter what I do. Frickin' Ornstein. Frickin' Ornstein. Frickin' Ornstein. Shoot. Come on! Ugh. I dodged him wrong. My inputs were like so sus there. Maybe I'll try to lock him up with the... Maybe we'll do... Actually, maybe we'll do this. Let's try this, actually. Maybe I'll try, because I know I might be able to stagger him with the Crystal Falchion. Yeah, well, there is a little bit of that, but they at least they're decent about it, you know what I mean? Whereas, like, at least in this game, you get, in this game, at least, it's like get a fully upgraded weapon of every type. But they give you enough resources to do it. You know, so it's like, okay, they want you to make a fully upgraded Chaos weapon. Well, they give you a bunch of slabs, you know? And so you need to go to New Game Plus 3, but it's like not that bad. That's like pretty reasonable, actually. You actually only need to get to Anor Londo. I don't think you even need to kill Ornstein and Smo on the third pass to 100% it. Shoot. There we go. Ah, oh, so pretty. God, I'm such a hero. Look at that. Oh, I'm so amazing. That was it. That was what I needed. That was what I needed, everyone. That was the freaking magic ticket, huh? Shoot. Hold up. Oh, it's so pretty. What a freaking hero I am. Look at that. Love this game so much. Oh my gosh. Oh. It just doesn't get any better than that, let me tell you. It just does not get any better than that. It's just awesome. Great work. Great work, everyone. Let's hit the showers. Okay. Now we go. Now we need to yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I actually really I got him good there. That was actually like perfect. I did that perfectly correct for sure. There's no way around. I like completely did that completely correctly. That was like a perfect don't do it version of it. Kind of amazing that the Great Scythe is not optimal there. I think definitely Falchion is like the way to go for sure. From now on, I'm gonna do Falchion on that fight, Crystal Falchion. So I think it's worth it to have a Crystal Falchion just for that. I think every other boss it's not as crucial. Oh, chosen undead.
Oh, chosen undead, I don't...
Okay. Okay. So we got the Lord Vessel. Now we need to go clean out all the, like, dumb, like, random bosses. We go to Undead Parish. Yeah, we're gonna start in Undead Parish. We're gonna clean our way out to, we're gonna clean our way out to, we're gonna do, Taurus Demon. We'll start with Taurus Demon. We'll just blast him. Just blast him out of the stratosphere with a Falchion. I do think Falchion is maybe a little tiny bit better than Painted Guardian Sword. I'm sorry to say it, everyone. Look, I'm Team Falchion, okay? I'm not gonna sit there and sugarcoat it. I think Falchion is better. I think Falchion has the je ne sais quoi. That's the thing. I think Falchion has a certain je ne sais quoi over Painted Guardian Sword. Painted Guardian Sword is cracked. Okay, don't get me wrong. Painted Guardian Sword is cracked, but I think Falchion just is like a tiny bit better. Like 1% better. And then against DLC bosses, you do Great Sight. And that's like the deal. That's like the strategy. There we go. Got the basement key. Hello. Excuse me. Oh, fudge. Oh, boy. Oh, they really got me good, didn't they? They really got me good, didn't they? Frickin' pig. Unbelievable. That's okay, I need to buy some arrows anyway, so it's fine. It's cool, I need to buy arrows anyway. Because I took out Quailag, right? Yeah, Quailag's dead. So hopefully with this stream we'll get through like a bunch of bosses here. We'll go solo Quailag and buy arrows with this. Or no, I can buy a bunch of stuff while I'm here. I know, they really got me good. They really got me really good there, didn't they? with that like that freaking epic headshot that just like nailed me. Repair everything real fast. Buy like a bunch of stuff, purchase items. Weaponsmith box, armorsmith box, repair box. I guess we buy large arrows at this point, can't we? Now we'll just go standard arrows. That's fine. I don't need better than standard arrows. Standard arrows are fine. There's like a reason to buy better arrows, but it's not a thing really. Then I think we use Soul Smo here. Oh, not quite. We need more even. Cool, whatever. That's close enough. We purchase item, grab crest. Well, we'll come back and deal with that later. We'll start with the Undead Parish bosses. Oh, we need arrows. What am I doing? We need more arrows, definitely. Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us wants to see you go hollow eye. Governor. Okay. Oh yeah, it's pretty typical. Ah, my freaking tailbone. Gotta stop resting on it. I gotta make sure I sit up so I don't sit on my freaking tailbone. It's the worst thing for your back is sitting on your freaking tailbone. Let me tell you. You want to sit on your thighs, basically. You want to sit on your butt and thighs. Oh. Not on your back and tailbone. Oh, there we go. Okay, so... yeah, I think I'm gonna pick them off with arrows here. Oh, come on. Getting lazy. It's not supposed to be this way. Pookie Andre. He is awesome. He's like the he's really cool. He definitely is what makes this game so fun. Like the thing about this game is you have like the weird like open. It kind of has like an open world feeling. That's what I think makes it better than. I wouldn't say better than Dark Souls 3, but one of the things about it is it has kind of the open world feel to it. You need to unlock the Lord Vessel to teleport, and there is something to that. It's not like essential for the gameplay, but it is fun. Oh, come on. Look at this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Slice. Okay, and then you... Ordinarily you just run past these, but for whatever reason I'm feeling feisty today. Excuse me, Mr. Undead. Oop. Slice. Up to the ladder. Come on, I need falchion for this. There we go. See, that's you can see how the R1. Somebody was talking about R1. Yeah, I know. Finally got the frickin' pig. Unbelievable, right? Come on. This guy you can't run past. You actually have to fight him, basically, if you're doing this. Okay, got that out of the way. So we go to Sunlight Altar. We grab Sunlight Altar just so I can join the Covenant. I think you need Sunlight. I think you need to be able to access the Sunlight Altar for the Covenant. So I have to do this part where I go to the Sunlight Altar. Because I need the Covenant for later. I need the Covenant for Calamite. There's like no way around it. Oh, okay, there we go. We'll open up this just in case too. Not that it probably matters, but you never know. Raise the sun indeed. We actually need the Covenant. The miracles are actually kind of good against Calamite. We like need Sunlight Spear actually. So praise the sun indeed. Praise the sun very much. Boom. Oh, come on. Sweet. Okay, that's done. Oh, that's right. We need to go this way. We need to kill what's-his-face. We need to kill Taurus Demon really quick. We need to kill Taurus Demon. Okay, let's see here. The bonfire. I guess we can get now. I think we will kill the Black Knight along the way. This guy's a lot easier to deal with than the other Black Knight. So I probably will kill this Black Knight. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Do this. Who are you? No, I screwed it up because I'm used to the 8 frame. No. How sad. How tragic. Dark Souls streamer only can do 8 frame parries. How tragic. Ah, tragic. They're gonna write a frickin' parable about me over that crap. There we go, jeez. Thank goodness. I guess we can do PSG against him. We can do PGS, actually. I don't like it, but we'll do it anyway. We'll do PGS against him. Yeah, we'll do PGS. If it gives me any problems at all, I'm not going to do it. Exactly. Serves him right, exactly. That's exactly correct. That is exactly correct. We deal out justice here. That's what's going on. Just pure justice. That's what we know in this establishment is justice. Okay. Stab him good. Drop down. Okay. And then this guy. Yeah. We need to do this. Okay, if I miss a single attack on this, Painted Guardian Sword is not coming back. Okay, well that was okay, whatever. Whatever. There you go. Never mind. No issues there. Completely fine. Okay, and then we kill what's his face. Go down here. Need Scythe back. Come on. Where is it? Can he bleed? Can this guy bleed, actually? Yeah. On Falchion would be about the same, but maybe like a little tiny bit worse. So it's like fine. Definitely, I mean, like, you know, whatever. I maybe could have gotten a little more out of Crystal Falchion, but it's totally fine. Yeah. That's the thing is for these bosses, this character is still really strong. It's not until you get to the later bosses where the DLC bosses and stuff where this character starts to kind of lose a little bit in terms of damage. It's really only the DLC bosses where this character has an issue, because that boss is taking, you know, full damage from both elements basically. But I mean that boss also has like 2 HP total, so you know. There you go. There we go. We need to open up the shortcut here too. Okay. Okay, gentlemen. Oh. No. Oh, come on. There we go. Then, I need to look up spears actually too, because I think that for Duke's Archives, a thrust weapon is optimal. I think that the slice weapons are really bad in Duke's Archives, but I mean I guess you can use, or no, you can use the Blessed Katana. The Blessed Katana is fine too, but I think technically a spear weapon might be like a tiny bit optimal. I don't know. Oh shoot, I'm out of juice. Out of freaking juice. No, 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 no. This is not how this is supposed to go. Gentlemen, please. This is not how this is supposed to go. I'm the hero of this story, gentlemen. Please. Consider my feelings on the topic. Look at this R1. Look at this busted, broken donkey of an R1. Look at that. That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at that broken broken R1. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, they're pretty bad, unfortunately. They're really bad. They're unfortunately kind of bad. The thing about them is that they probably should be good. I don't know why they stink so bad, honestly. It's like one of the weird foibles of this game that they're like doomed to kind of stink forever. I think what ends up happening is they probably should do more damage. Like they probably need to. Each and every one in basically every game needs a damage buff because they don't do very much poise damage. The reach on them really isn't that crazy, and then they just do less damage than like everything else. So it's kind of the main problem with them. They need a sizable damage. They need a meaningful damage bonus. I think whips would be a lot better if they were fast too. That's another thing. I think whips need to come out a lot faster. I think the whip hitbox needs to be like bam, and then they'd be good. So yeah, there's like so many issues with them, unfortunately, with spears. But they're not useless. And then a lot of times they're outclassed by like swords and stuff. You know, because you can do it because great swords have a thrusting attack in this game. Like the Claymore has a thrusting attack. The Balder Side Sword has a thrusting attack. The long sword and stuff has thrusting attacks. And those weapons aren't especially good in this game in a lot of cases, but you know, if you're fighting normal enemies, the moveset is more important than the stat scaling, so you know, they're kind of rendered useless by that. And if you want, and then a halberd, the biggest problem with them though in this game in particular is halberds. Yeah, so I think they're just outclassed is the issue. They're like fine, but they end up being very outclassed. And it's such a shame too because I love spears as weapons. If spears were good, I would love using them. You know, but they end up getting outclassed by halberds mostly. I think halberds are really what kills them in most cases, where it's like you have a weapon that's basically the same but better in every way. It deals more poise damage. You know, deals more poise damage, and then you can like infuse it just the same and like stuff like that. I think in this game, halberds have like really crappy. Halberds have kind of crappy scaling, but they're so good in every other way that it like doesn't matter. And so I think that's the biggest problem with spears. And then the scaling on them isn't even that good anyway. Just the one I have. Just the one I have. This is like basically the only good scythe in the whole series. There are other scythes that are fine, but this is like the best. I think this is the best scythe in the entire series by far. This is like kind of an unfair broken weapon that makes no sense. At least a little tiny bit. I wouldn't call it like the greatest weapon ever or anything in any Souls game ever or something like that, but it's pretty good. There's a lot going for this weapon. It's light. It has good scaling. It's fast. It has a good moveset. You get a lot for this weapon for sure. And it does it trucks like crazy. There's bleed on it too. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Spears end up being a more efficient. Yes, I love the moves on it too. That's the biggest thing. The moves on it. Well, the damage is good too, but the moves on it are also very good too. There's a couple other weapons you could use instead of this if you really wanted to, but this particular weapon is really good. So we need to attune magic, take this off, put on Wrath of God. We need Wrath of God for the dogs. And then we'll use Falchion even for the boss, I think. Or we'll use, I guess, I do PGS? I guess I'll try PGS on him. I haven't really done PGS on him, but he'll die fast to PGS for sure. Excuse me, gentlemen. Oh. Yeah, it's probably one of the best weapons in the game. There's like maybe a couple like great hammers that are kind of good too, that are comparable. There's like a couple. There's like I'd say like mace. Like reinforced club is about as good. Mace is about as good. Uchigatana is probably about as good too. Maybe a little less good. I think Uchigatana is probably the weakest of your best options. Let's see, Uchigatana. Chaos Blade, I guess, is fine too. I don't really like it, but it's okay. And then like probably Large Club. Large Club is probably viable too. Large Club has a similar moveset. So the thing about the Scythe is you do the charging attack. There's like the super cool R2. Large Club has a similar R2. The problem with Large Club is that it's poison damage instead of bleed, but it's still usable. And then Great Club is probably viable too. There's a couple other hammers that are probably okay. But they swing slower. They're slower enough, and their range isn't really any better. So I don't think they're that much better. On top of that, Manus, I think, is weak to Slash. I think. I could be wrong. So the hardest boss in the game is weak to Slash, which is a good thing. So most bosses are resistant to Slash, but Manus is weak to it, and that's like really important, actually. So that's another reason why it's probably better than Large Club or Great Club. I need to look at the damage, though. I do, in fact, need to go and I need to look at the damage values to like get an idea of what's going on with Large Club. But the reason to go Dex here is so I can use a bow. So even if I wanted to go Strength, the reality is that going Dex for the bow is like actually a really smart idea. Because I can sit there and snipe and cheese stuff. Hello. Hello, Cookie Slayer Sayori. Not bad to see you. Yes, have a good day. There we go. Oh, I need to buff up. Where is he? Yeah, it doesn't even have a chance. Because being able to use the bow and arrow is really good. And at this point, I'm kind of used to the movesets. Honestly, maybe I could consider trying like a Large Club out or something. Maybe I'll look into that. Maybe we'll get a Large Club to plus 15. And I'll kind of look at that. I need to look at the math. I need to put up a calculator and kind of like do some digging on that. Because I think Large Club and Great Club would be viable too, but I need more experimentation. It's not something that I have an answer to right now. And it's something I have to do, but I need to look at a damage calculator to let you know for sure. They're viable. They're totally usable, I guarantee you. And then probably I don't know. Maybe like Black Knight Halberd too is fine. I think I'll save Black Knight Halberd for another character. For like one more character. Because I'm probably going to do one more character of New Game Plus in Dark Souls 1. It's not going to be for a while. But I want to do a Calamity Ring Pyromancer. So I have the Calamity Ring just to make it harder, and then I'm going to do Pyromancy only. Basically. And then, but you can't do Pyromancy only. There's some bosses that are basically resistant to Pyromancies. So I'll need to use a combination of Black Flame and then like a sidearm weapon to deal with some normal enemies too. So maybe I'll use like Black Knight Halberd for that. I'll go out of my way to get a Black Knight Halberd for that character. And then we'll see how that goes. I could use some other weapon, but it's not really a big deal. Excuse me. Hold up, my phone went off. Why did my phone go off? My phone's always going off to something or other. So I was like, blah, blah. Oh, a bunch. We killed Taurus Demon, Capra Demon. See, I need to turn off notifications on my phone so it doesn't constantly go off. Come on. Oh, there. Okay, I need to take care of this guy. Oh, shoot. Come on, guys. Gentlemen, please. Fudge. There we go. I need to put on scythe again. Where is it? Where's the scythe? I need the scythe. I need my friend the scythe to get me through these difficult times. There we go. Yeah, so we got a bunch of bosses down. I need to end stream like right now though. Yeah, I need to end stream in like a minute or something. Because I gotta go to the grocery store. Gotta buy some stuff. But we'll pick this up tomorrow. So, thanks for watching everybody. I'll kill the giant rat first. How's that sound? There we go. Look at that. Oh, he's not even dead. Boo. Should have sunlight bladed there. We'll kill the giant rat at least. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to have you here. Nice to have people to chat with and stuff like that. It makes it a lot more fun. Or at least it's something fun to do. For sure. You never fought the giant rat. I fought the giant rat, the rat legit many times because his HP is kind of low. Okay, I'll kill this one last rat and then we'll get out of here. I'll call it because I gotta go to the grocery store right now. I gotta take care of that. So have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll probably be streaming tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's really awesome. Yeah, you too, guys. Oh, 1 second, I gotta actually hit the end stream button.